Okay. There we go.
Let's confirm with your. Well, all right.
Okay.
Okay.
Should I still do it?
Just refresh that page.
Should I try it? Go to a different one? So it's getting there. It's coming. It's just tired. Hey, what was that? Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, we'll be good. All right. 30 seconds to start time. We can do this. All right, we'll go ahead and start, and we'll cross our fingers. Things will work eventually, right? It's the end of the day. I think the computer's tired and warm, and that's okay. All right. So welcome, you guys. Have you had a good day? Yeah, good. Are you exhausted? In a good, exhausted way? Yeah, me too. It's good. It's been great. My name is Tammy Lind, and I'm going to talk to you about using Google Apps for our kids that struggle. And I want to just let you know that, or teachers that struggle. I just want to give you a little backstory. I am a former special ed teacher, and so this is what really gets me going. Like, this is my passion. Technology, leveling the playing field for our kids, like, makes my brain explode. And that's why I'm doing this session. Just a little bit about me. Yes, right here. So I almost, what? I get booed. It's only 2 minutes in the session. I have to say it because I just can't let it go. But I do want to thank you guys for signing Jay Cutler again. All right. I know, super jerky. Everyone leaves. I'm going to wait to have you do the evaluation for a while till you like me again. But what? What? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him. Oh, see, she's leaving. I'm sorry I offended you with the Packer comment. Okay, so I am a former special ed teacher. Assistive technology for a long time was what I would do for our district. And so that is sort of what got me into researching and really trying technology for our kids that struggle. Now, I do not mean, when I talk about our kids that struggle, I don't mean special ed kids. I'm talking about any kids that don't have access to the general curriculum. Any kid that cannot do what they need to do, that's who I'm talking about, okay? What I would like you to do is, I'm going to just give you a minute or two, is I just want you I'll give you 1 minute. I just want you very quickly to turn to someone around you and just talk about either a specific student that you have in mind that struggles, or what a struggling learner means to you. When you hear that term, what does that mean? Because I find if we frame what we're doing, either with a kid in mind or with what we're really looking for, that helps the next 45 minutes or so. So just take a minute, either talk to someone else about a struggling learner that you have and that you're interested in learning how to help them, or talk about what the term struggling learner means to you. Okay, I'm only going to give you 1 minute, so go ahead. We can do it. Come on. All right, let's come on back. Now, for those of you that have seen other sessions that I did today, you know that I'm not letting you out the door without committing to something today, okay? Really, I want you to really take one thing that we do in the next 45 minutes that will impact a struggling learner. Please, as a favor to me, I'll cheer for the Bears in March. As a favor to me, please, and a favor to your students, take one thing that we're going to do and use that with a kid next week. Okay, that's what I'm going to ask you to do. The resources are here. I'll put this link up later, so don't worry about it right now. What we're going to do is I am just going to show you as much as I can in the time and talk about how it could impact a struggling learner. But I want to let you know that some of the things that I'm going to show you, you already know, but I'm going to ask you to look at it through the lens of a learner that struggles. So we know a lot about Google stuff, right? A lot of us do. But a lot of times we don't come at it looking at how it can impact a student that needs access to the curriculum. So that's what I'm going to ask you to do. You may know many of the things that we're going to do, but look at it differently through the lens of a learner that might struggle in your classroom. Okay? Then we're going to get into a little bit of apps and extensions. And then I'm going to, and I said earlier, this is usually when people look down or leave for that next, you don't have a next session. You can't leave. No. That's when people either leave or look down, because then I ask you to verbalize your commitment, and we'll get to that in a second. All right, here we go. The first thing that I want you to do, how many of you know that you can adjust the reading level of a Google search? Please, please, please. And just so you know, I'm going to be hopping in and out of this presentation. Hang on 1 second. When I restarted my machine, I did not open up all my tabs. So give me just a second while that's coming. You can change or adjust the returns of a Google search by reading level. Now, before anybody asks, no, it's not a Lexiled reading level. I always get that. What's a basic? What I look at it is it's a guide. Please show your kids this. So here we are. We've got a Paul Revere search. We're going to do some research on it. Now, if I go to Search Tools and I go to All Results, you will see reading level is here. Please, please, please show your kids this. How many times have you guys done or had your students do a report and they go off and they get to this site that they have no business being on because they can't read any of it? And what do most of them do? They copy it, or say it again, they print it. Yes. How many of you have gotten the 47-page print for the 3 words that they needed, right? So we have networked printing, so they can't actually see that it's printing. Then what happens? Print, 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 print. Yeah, 47 times, however many times. Show them this. Go ahead. Sure, so you do your search. Let's change it here. We'll do Abraham Lincoln. Oh yeah, because we're in Illinois, we can do that. So we'll do Abraham Lincoln. Oh, but it kept the search results. When you do a search, it's in Search Tools and Reading Level. Okay? The images, oh my gosh, that's totally next. Did you see my notes? Okay. She's totally a plant. Absolutely. Please, you guys, show this to your kids. Again, basic, intermediate, advanced. It's not Lexiled out. Do you use Lexiles? Maybe you guys have no idea what I'm talking about. Okay. It's not Lexiled out, but it is absolutely a good guide for our kids. Okay? Now, another thing that I want you to know about is when you return an image search. So I'll just stick with Abraham Lincoln, and I'm going to go to images. This is new as of maybe a month ago, maybe about that, maybe 2 months. Now, when you go to the search tools here, watch this. You can search by usage rights. So now your kids can search for Abraham Lincoln images that are labeled for reuse, labeled for non-commercial reuse with modification. Right here, this is your search return. Okay? And so let me just click on that, and there we go. So now we have labeled for reuse these images. Please, I think that's one of the biggest things with our struggling learners is they don't know about this stuff, and a lot of times they don't self-advocate. You know, a lot of times, who advocates for our struggling learners? Parents or us, right? And then does that ever encourage or empower them to advocate for themselves? No, I'll get off my soapbox in a minute, but we have to show them these tools. They're free, they're available. They should just become part of the routine for our struggling learners. And if they're not, then we need to be working with our learners to self-advocate. Okay? So those are the first things that I want to talk to you about. The next thing that I want to talk to you about is the fact that, do you guys remember, let me pull up my article here. Hang on. Actually, I'm going to do this article this time. Do you remember, this actually has been on computers since like the beginning of time. The Control F or Command F. Does everybody know about that? Yeah, it's crazy. Honestly, this has been on computers. I don't ever remember it not being. So here I am on this article, and this is an article about social bookmarking. So what I'm going to do is I'm on a Mac, so I'm going to hit Command F, and look right here. It's an article on social bookmarking, so I'm going to do a search for the word social. Now look at my article. So it's highlighting every time that the word social comes up. Why do we care about that for our kids that struggle? Help them read, help them what else? Yeah, if they look up a keyword and it shows up once, are they on a good site? Probably not. These are little tips and tricks that we can show our kids to begin to self-advocate. And honestly, this has been on machines forever. This will work on anything. I use it on spreadsheets all the time. Okay? It's Command F or Control F on a Windows machine. And somebody on a Chromebook said what it was earlier. Is it Control? Okay, thank you. All right, let's keep going. And I'm just going to quickly show you everything in case you're fast and furiously taking notes. Everything that we're going to do is in the presentation, and you guys can have that, okay? So you don't have to worry about that. All right, the next thing that I want to show you is voice commenting. And it's Kaizena. Yes, Kaizena. I always say it wrong, Kaizena. Anybody use it? Okay, good. I might have you do a little shout out in a minute, okay? How many of you use the comment tool in Google Docs just because you use the comment tool? So I'm going to give a little plug for the comment tool because not all of us raised our hands. So I want you to picture struggling writer Tammy. Now think about this. Struggling writer Tammy is doing her report on Abraham Lincoln. And I turn in my report of 3 pages, and I'm a struggling writer, so 3 pages is very difficult for me, right? And I turn it in, and when do I get feedback on that report? When I'm done. Okay, so for some kids, that might be okay. But for struggling writer or reluctant writer me, is that going to be okay? Because what is that writing going to look like when I get it back? Yeah, and even if we're trying to be gentle and not mark it up, learners know, our kids know that it was a struggle. So I would please, if you have never used the commenting tool, just the commenting tool, forget about the next thing I'm going to show you, use the commenting tool to provide feedback through the writing process. Because struggling reluctant writer Tammy, I will happily change 25 things that you need me to change if you're telling me that as I go along. But struggling writer Tammy is not going to rewrite it. As I have just put my heart and soul in 3 pages, I'm not going to do it again. I was a struggling writer. Not because I wasn't good at writing, it's because I didn't want to write what you told me to write. So if we can provide feedback for our kids on a consistent basis, rather than here and here, our struggling writers have that sense of accomplishment. So I will ask you again, I will get off my soapbox. Can you tell I'm totally soapbox-ish about this? So I will show you the way to leave voice comments, because now a lot of our kids that struggle in writing also struggle with what? Reading, right? So we're going to leave this fantastic comment and then have issues reading it. So I'm going to just show you, hopefully my example opened. Let me just double check here when I restarted. Yeah. Give me 1 second, please. All right, here we go. So I'm going to show you Kaizena, and it is a way to leave voice comments, and there's also a way that you can leave a resource for your students. So here it is. I'm in my Google Drive. We all know Google Drive is like the My Documents of Google, right? So I'm going to go into my Google Drive, and I'm going to open with Kaizena. Does everybody see that? All right. Now, what that's doing is it's taking that document, so it's taking the struggling writer's document, and it's opening it up, hopefully. There we go. In a way that now I can leave voice comments. So I'm going to scroll down because I have a lot up here. There we go. So here's my document. Now, when I highlight, watch what happens when I lift up the cursor. Here we go. So I have a microphone, I have a little comment box, and then I have this little tag, and I'll show you what that's for in a minute. Now, I can leave, hang on, it's going to make me do this. There we go. I can leave a voice comment. So I can say, yes, abstract comments are very difficult. Sometimes it's very difficult for kids to have a grasp of abstract comments. Now, when I stop, there's my comment. So I can keep going. Here we go. Now, when I let go, here are my 3 options. Now, I want to show you this one. And I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this one because I want to keep going, but I want you to check this out if this is something that your kids might benefit from. I can actually video about abstract comments. I could now put a YouTube video in there. So let's think about this. We have a student writing about Abraham Lincoln, and his or her information is way off. Like, I don't know what site that the information came from, but it has nothing to do with Abe Lincoln. I could actually put a video there as a reference to that specific spot in the document for my student to look at. Okay? And I'll just click add here. Oh, it's waiting for, that's all right, I'll cancel it out. Okay? So you can leave voice comments, you can leave text comments, and you can embed resources for kids to use. Okay? I'm sorry, say it again? Yep, yeah, you could use links just by putting the comment here if you wanted to put the link in. And just so you know, that's a really good tip too if you're putting comments just in Google Docs, regular Google Docs without this. You can put a link in there. If you use a tool called Audio Boo, you can record a comment there and put the link into the comment. I have teachers that actually will use that over this. Okay? And then the advantage of this, now I'm not going to be able to show it to you here because I'm in my personal account, not my professional account. But the advantage to this is then I can just put the kid's name in and share it with them. It's a direct share, just like in Google Docs. Okay? So now my student and I can have that communication about their writing, not just beginning and end, but the entire time. Okay? Please check that out if you have kids that struggle in writing. Who said they used it? Do you want to, could you just give a little 2-second thing about it? Somebody that uses it? It doesn't matter to me who. No? Everyone's getting shy now. That's all right. Go ahead. Yeah, and we're going to actually get to that in a second, but this actually won't record, it won't transcribe like speech to text. Is that what you're thinking? Go ahead, do you want to? Nice. I love it. That's awesome. Anybody else? The great part about this is I'm presenting, but I always end up learning cool stuff like that. Thank you. Anybody else want to share? Not now, you have to totally live up to that, but. All right, let's keep going. Maybe. There we go. Okay, how many of you have used the research tool in Google Docs? Put your hands up so I can see. How many of you have never seen the research tool? Okay, I'm going to go super fast through this because you need to understand the research tool to understand this tip. Let me just pull this document up here. Come on, document. All right, the research tool is built into presentations and documents in Google Tools. And what it is, it's coming. All right, so I'm going to go to Tools eventually and Research when that comes up. And what it will allow me to do, there we go. Okay, hang on one second. There we go. I'm moving too fast for it. Tools and Research. Now look what happens along the side. If you've never used this with struggling learner, it doesn't have to be a struggling learner. If you've not used this with a student, please show it to them. But think about our struggling learners in particular. They can do research in a document without ever leaving the document. Because what do they struggle with in general is organization, right? That's really hard. So I'm going to go ahead here. And hang on. Now I had trouble getting it to work. We'll try it. I'll stick with the Abraham Lincoln here. Oh, it did work. Okay. So what it does is this is a Google search within my document. Okay? Now for those of you that haven't ever used it, let's say I want to use this image. I'm going to throw Abe in my document here and look. You see that? What is that? That's my citation. There it is. Yeah, so if you've never used that, you should. I know everyone who's used it like, oh my gosh, I've been using it for years. No, it's so great. How many of you are bitter about this after? Yeah, right? So I got my master's and then this comes out? Are you kidding me? Watch this though. You want to get real angry. I don't know why I want to make you angry, but I will. Watch. Not only that, you can change the citation format from MLA to APA to Chicago. Now are you bitter? Yeah, good. Thank you for joining me in my anger. All right, so here we are. That's the research tool. I guess that is sort of an added tip I hadn't planned to cover, but if you don't know about it, you should. That is the research tool. Now please use that. In addition to using the research tool, how many of you use graphic organizers with your, any kids, forget struggling learner, any kids, right. Use the research tool as a way to have kids, where did my presentation go? Here we go. Use the research tool as a way to have kids lay out their writing using visuals instead of just the pretty boxes. Now have them use images. So now I'm going to write a report on lions and I got to cover habitat covering and food. Let me plan that as a struggling writer using images from the research tool. Okay, that's what you're looking at right here. You guys can see that okay. All right? All right, let's keep going. There we go. Okay. Now, this is super cool. All right. Did you know, how many of you have a mobile device of some form? Don't care if it has an I in front of it or an A in front of it. Okay? If you have a mobile device, you have built-in speech-to-text in Google. Okay? You really do, trust me on this one. I'm going to show you. Now watch. Here's how that works. Any mobile device that you have, and by that I mean tablets and phones and iPods and those kind of things, all you do is you put the Drive app on your mobile device. So this is my cell phone, and I'm going to go ahead into my Drive app, and I'm going to pull this document up. We know that mobile devices have, the iDevices have Siri, right? We have that. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this up here. Just a sec. Here we go. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but there's my document, right? So there's Abe. Now, just by using the keyboard, now in an Android device, and it's on the slide, on an Android device, my text or speech to text is built into my keyboard. I learned this morning on an iDevice, you have to enable it in where? Somebody help me. Settings and then general. Thank you. You have to enable, what am I enabling? Siri? Okay. Did everybody get that? Sorry, I totally slaughtered it. Settings, general, Siri, and then you also get the microphone on your keyboard. You want to hold that up? I don't know if you guys can see it. Okay, so here we go. Thank you. You can choose the language as well. All right, hang on. Let's see. Abraham Lincoln was a good guy, period. Let's see if I get it. Sometimes it works in front of a group, and sometimes it doesn't. Can you guys see where I'm in the document? Please work, period. Thank you. Somebody say that again. Thank you. It worked perfectly earlier. Oh, come on. How am I going to get the wow factor if it doesn't work? Hang on. Yeah, we'll do a quick refresh. I did have to restart here. I shouldn't have to refresh, but that's all right. We're going to do it. We'll play its game. I knew it. I started out with the Packer issue. I'll let you have your iDevice. It's all right. I can deal with it. I knew that was coming, though. I was like, come on, someone's going to rip on Android. All right. Let's try this again, period. No, please. All right. How do I want to show you this? One more try. I wonder if it can't get the network. I always blame the network. That's what you do as a good tech person. Sorry. Always blame the network. I will come back to that. Let me think. Judy, I'm going to share this with you. And can you pull that up on your device? There you are. Gmail. I'm going to send it. I can grab your device and do it too. Okay, so I'm going to talk you through what's happening, because once you see it, you'll want to hear the workflow. So what happens is, we know in Google Docs we can share them, right? We can do that with edit rights. Okay, so I have created a document called ICE 14 Dictate Example, and it doesn't work. What happens on my device, and what you do on your device, is you put the Google Drive app, and you pull up that document on your mobile device. We all have speech recognition on our mobile devices. That's how we do text messages and other things. And what I learned in Illinois is you can't hold your phone. I didn't know that. Very scary. So you can do that and talk to your phone, and it will transcribe and put the text into the document. Did you get it? Not yet? For sure blame the network then. Yeah, I'll try one more time here. Oh, wait, I think we got something. Hang on. Come on. Well, if you get it, let me know and we'll come back and look at it. Oh, that was supposed to be like my big wow. I'm done now. Just so you have your device. There she is. There's Judy. Now we have. So now let's talk about. Thank you. Let's talk about the workflow here. Okay. I have my document. I've made my document. I have my mobile device with Drive on it. I just pull that document up and start talking, period. Thank you. There you go. Come on. No, there we go. Yes! All right, I bow to the iDevice. I just have to tell you, we do a podcast together that will come up. Yes. Thank you. So that's how it works. Now think about this. In the session earlier, one of the gentlemen in the audience said his son just does it. That's how he does all of his papers. He pulls up his stuff, gets his phone out, talk, there it goes. No typing. Think about that for our kids that struggle with writing. Okay? All right, let's keep going because I am totally running out of time now. I know, my wow moment. Woohoo! Now, yes, now you guys are like, oh, she put the Android picture. I'm not using that because it doesn't work. So there's the workflow for that, okay? Because we didn't get to really do it live, if you need help, please just let me know. How many of you use Google Keep? Yeah, do you want to talk about maybe for what? Do you use it with kids? Exactly. Google Keep is fantastic. If you're in a Google domain, you have it right there. Anybody know Evernote? Yeah, so it's Evernote-ish. I love Evernote, so don't tell them I said that. But Google Keep is built in to your Google domain. Google Keep is a mobile app as well. It's also a Chrome app. Now, here's the cool thing about Keep. Google Keep allows you to leave voice notes, and it will transcribe it then into text. So if you're driving, don't pick up your phone. But if you happen to be driving and have hands-free, you can talk, and it will transcribe it and leave the note. One of the cool things that it has is location-based reminders, which I found out this morning your notes on iDevices has it as well. You can do location-based reminders. So to test this out, I thought, this is goofy. I put in a reminder of my address, and sure enough, I pulled up to my house, and my phone lit up and was like, you're supposed to do this. And I was like, oh my gosh, really? Now you're telling me what to do all the time? But location-based reminders, how about that? You set that up for a student. When you get here, this is the reminder that comes up. When you get here, this is the reminder that comes up. There are no excuses anymore for kids. We're totally playing their game now. Or husbands. I'm not saying that. I'm out on that one. That's session at 5 o'clock. Google Keep. So here's the thing with Google Keep. It is an app, so you would download it on a mobile device, or you would go to keep.google.com, and that will take you to your, I'm going to try to do it. If it doesn't come up quickly, I'm just going to let it go. It's web-based as well. It's also a Chrome app, and so you can get to it from there. There we go. Okay, so it's web-based, which means what? It's everywhere, right? So take a look at Google Keep, please. All right. Okay, how many of you are Chrome users? All right, good. So in the time that we have left, which is not a ton, I want to talk to you about some Chrome things, not just apps and extensions, but things that you can do in Chrome for our kids that struggle. This is going to sound super overdramatic, but I'm going to say it anyway. I think that the ability to have Chrome apps and extensions available to our kids is a game changer for our kids that struggle. It will change their schooling lives. Super overdramatic, I get it, but it's true. Using Chrome apps and extensions, our kids have access to things that they never had before. Now, how many of you have been in a building where Our struggling learner walks in the lab and you say, oh, welcome to the lab. Your computer is the last row, the last 3 on the end. What does that mean? What are we telling our kids for that? Yeah, because their special programs are there, right? So, and we try to do it really nice, like on the down low, so nobody knows we're not singling them out. They know. Using something like Chrome apps and extensions, they don't look different. Yet we're providing them the supports that they need to access the curriculum. Again, off my soapbox, here we go. The other thing that I want to make you aware of is Incognito Window. Do you guys use this? If you work with struggling learners, this is going to be your best friend. Now, let's think about this. You have a kid who cannot find their Google login. So I'm logged into mine here. So student Tammy comes up and says, Miss Lind, I forgot my Google login. Can you test it for me? What do I have to do to let her do this, to try it on my machine? Log off. She logs in. I log her off. I log back in, right? Or you go over to here in Chrome, this thing, and you hit New Incognito Window, and you have your student login here. This is as if a brand new window has been opened. It's private browsing, it's called, in Internet Explorer. Does Safari have it? What's it called? It's private browsing as well. Use this as a way to save yourself time and frustration when our kids forget their passwords and their logins. I use it just as a tip. I put out something to my whole school district every week on Tuesdays. And when I'm logged in, I'm logged in so I can see everything, right? If I'm going to share a document, the document looks beautiful. Everything looks great because I'm logged in. But if I forgot to share it, when I send it to somebody who doesn't have permission, what happens? 1, I don't look very smart. And 2, they can't get to the document. So just as a tip, I use Incognito Window to test everything because it lets me test it as though I'm not logged in. Okay? Some people use multiple browsers to do that. I just use Incognito Window. All right, that's one little Chrome tip. Here's another little Chrome tip. So I have now 7 minutes left. So I'm going to say, timer, 7 minutes. And Google is going to keep track of my 7 minutes for me. Come on. There we go. And there it is. So all I did was type in timer and my minutes, and up this comes. Just a really quick time saver. Our kids that struggle often struggle with transition. So timers are very valuable to many of them. So use that if you can. It's very, very easy to use. All right, some apps and extensions that I want to share with you quickly before we go. I'm going to just show you. Now I'm going to make the assumption that you are familiar with extensions in Chrome and apps in Chrome. I'm just going to make the assumption if you're not. Who is very, very proficient in Chrome? Put your hand up high. Look around you. If you're not comfortable with Chrome, get to somebody here or get to me before you go, okay? All right. So here we are. I now, as a struggling reader and writer, have been asked to do some research online. And so I'm going to come into this article, and I'm looking, and, you know, we assume our kids know what's important on that page, don't we? This is a great article. But I know what's important. We assume our kids, when they look at this, that they know. But look, though, that's moving, so that is absolutely important, right? It's true, though. It's true. Now, look, it's pretty. There's, look at that stuff. So how do our kids find anything at all, ever? Watch what happens. I'm going to use an extension called Evernote Clearly, and it's this one right here. And in our time that we have, I'm going to probably end up just showing you this one, but watch what happens to my article. Now it's pulling out all that extra business, and here's my article. Now my kids can read this. Now there's nothing moving. It's not beautiful and colorful. I have just what I need in front of me when I need it. Okay? That's called Evernote Clearly. It's this icon right there. Yep, I pull up the article. Now you have to install the extension, and if you're not familiar, get to somebody about extensions and apps. I'm going to get Clearly, and when I click on the Clearly extension, it will pull out all the stuff. Now, if you have an Evernote account, if you don't, ignore me for a second. If you do, you can highlight and clip directly to your Evernote account. You also have speech, text to speech. Okay, but you, say it again? Only in premium, yep, thank you. But the highlight's not premium, right? Yeah. All right, let's keep going. That one was called Evernote Clearly. While I have an article open, I also want to show you this one called iSpeech. This is a big win for our kids. I don't know if you've ever purchased assistive technology before, but it's very expensive. This, what I'm going to show you, used to cost maybe $200 a student per license. See if we can get it. I couldn't this morning.
We started each day with an open discussion, based on the themes listed below, in morning tutor group,
So you can see
homeroom,
what I highlighted
inspired
is
by a
being
short
read.
video. See videos and guiding questions.
So now we
at the
can
links
have our
below.
kids actually
Our goal
listen to
was
the
to get
research
students
to know
thinking
if it's
about the big
important.
ideas behind digital
Okay?
citizenship and give them
That's called iSpeech. This is all in the presentation, so don't worry about it if you didn't get it. All right, let's keep going here. All right, in the time that we have, I do have to show you this one, and I did show you this morning. Let me check my timer. That's not good. I have to show you this one, and this is for our kids that struggle, but it's also super fun. And it's an app. It's a Chrome app that hopefully we can get to come up here. It's called Peanut Gallery. Has anybody used it? Oh my gosh, it's so fun. So fun. Here we go. And you know what? We'll end with that because it's so fun. So one of the standards in first and second grade up by me is that kids will be able to interpret body language and will be able to interpret emotion, right? And we assume kids can do that, but sometimes they can't. So now imagine, here we go. There we go. See if we got it. Action. Hey, who's out there? What are you doing outside? I'm coming to visit you. He's scary. But he's nice too. No, my last one didn't go. That's okay. Okay, so imagine we're making our own silent movie. Beyond the cool factor, why is that good for our kids? To interpret feelings. How about sequence? Go ahead. Oh, I love it. Inferencing, totally. And then look at what you get, you guys. You get a link right here to share out. So now if you have a student that does something really cool, they can share it with whoever they want to share it with. Say it again? Totally. Now, I will just tell you, and I forgot to say this in my morning group, I have not looked at all of these, which is why I always pick that one because I know it. Just double check. I think that they're all appropriate for kids, but I don't actually know. I've not seen every single one, so take a look. Okay? All right, I'm down to 1 minute. I'm actually going to turn it off so that you don't know how much time I have because you can't tell time. All right, now this is the time everyone's going to look down. I'm sorry that we're out of time, but there are other apps and extensions that will be in the presentation. But here's the moment when everyone wants to avoid. No, I'm just teasing you. I really want you to commit to trying something. The reason I like to do this is because I want to make a difference for our kids. So I'm going to give you only 1 minute. It says 2. I'm going to give you only 1 minute. I just want you to talk to somebody around you. What is one thing that you will commit to trying as soon as you get back to school with your kids? So go ahead. All right, come on back here. Mhm. No. Presentations. Okay, hang on. Let me just wrap this up quick. Yeah. All right, come on back here. I know we got to go to the closing. If you shared with a colleague, help your colleague remember what they just committed to. But please, take something that we did, help our kids. These are all relatively easy, free things that can give our kids access to the curriculum where they may not have normally had it. So thank you very much. I'll put the resource link back up if you need it. Thank you. Have a really good rest of your session. We're almost done. Oh, are you out?
No, are you staying?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay for it.